Big Dash knows what?
Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. So the New York Giants, well, the rumor is that the New York Giants have hired Marquand Manuel as their new DB coach. Who is Marquand Manuel? I'm going to let you know who Marquand Manuel is. Now, Marquand Manuel is a former player turned coach drafted in 2002 by the Cincinnati Bengals. Played on a couple different teams from 2002 to 2009. Pretty much a journeyman. Really didn't stick, but again, a player is a player. If you last more than 3 seasons in the NFL, then you're doing something right. So Marquand Manuel started his coaching career in 2012 as a defensive assistant for the Seattle Seahawks. So he was there during the whole Legion of Boom era. As a defensive assistant and also as an assistant secondary coach. So 2012, 2013, he becomes a defensive assistant and also the assistant secondary coach. That's a pretty quick rise going from a player to a coach. And again, I like the fact that he was around, or he was part of that coaching staff that coached up that Legion of Boom. And we know how strong that secondary was back then. He also coached under Dan Quinn when Dan Quinn took over as the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. He was then the secondaries coach under Dan Quinn. And again, Legion of Boom times. That defense was so good that, you know what, Dan Quinn got hired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach, and he brought Marquand Manuel with him as the secondary coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, during that time as a secondary coach, this is 2015 to 2016, the Atlanta Falcons had went to the Super Bowl. This is that famous Super Bowl, the 28-3, when they had that big lead on the New England Patriots, and then it all collapsed, folded, and New England Patriots had one of the best comebacks in Super Bowl history. He was a part of that defensive staff, but he wasn't the DC. As soon as that Super Bowl ended, that DC got fired. Marquand Manuel was promoted to DC, and he was the DC for the Atlanta Falcons for 2 seasons, and that was 2016 and 2017 and 2018. During that time, the Atlanta Falcons had a 10-6 season and also a 7-9 season. That staff gets fired. He takes a hiatus, and then he comes back to coaching in 2020 as the secondaries coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, he was there in 2021. Again, part of good coaching staffs, the Legion of Boom. The Atlanta Falcons did go to a Super Bowl, even though they had that collapse. And then he was part of the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021. And then after that, he went to the Jets to be their safeties coach in 2021. And he was their safety coach from 2021 to this past year, where that, pretty much that whole regime was fired. And, he became a free agent. So now, Marquand Manuel, experience as a DC, fantastic. Experience as a secondaries coach with the Legion of Doom, fantastic. I like that. Coached under Robert Saleh, who was a fantastic, DC. And then also, if you look at those Jets defense the past couple of years, the Jets defense wasn't really the problem. They had a strong secondary. He coached guys like Sauce Gardner. He coaches guys like DJ Reed. He coached those safeties. Again, he was a safeties coach. So I like the experience that he brings as far as a secondary coach. Has years and years of experience, has Super Bowl experience. So that's a good thing. So with this young secondary that we have right now, with Tyler Nubin and Andrew Phillips and Tay Banks and whoever else we try to bring in here, the guys like Trey Hawkins and Cordell Flott, hopefully he can keep what Jerome Henderson was doing, and that was starting to develop these players to try to get the best of their potential, depending on what happens in free agency, depending on what happens in and during the draft, also depending on what happens. The Jets have a guy that's coming up, DJ Reed. He's coming up. He's going to be a free agent. Maybe he can help us sway DJ Reed to come play for the New York Giants because we have a hole at cornerback. But again, I like the hire. I like the experience. We do have a lot of experienced coaches on this staff, and it has not turned into wins. But hopefully, we can build this nucleus and get things moving in the right way. So I do like the hire for Marquand Manuel. I was upset about Jerome Henderson being fired, but again, it is what it is. But that's going to be the video. Quick background on Marquand Manuel. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of the hire. Did you know who he was prior to this? Did you not know him at all? I had to do a little bit of research to see, where he came from, what his stock was, and the potential of, possibly getting a good coach, to come to the New York Giants. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.